Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah. At the Miners Guild, where we look. What happens next? Serenia, I hear you did good work assisting Ocean's raiders with a mineral survey. The letter of thanks sent to the guild from the Count de Fortombe himself was quite flattering. Then again, that's the kind of praise I would expect from one who bested White Gully. Of course, that's not to say you can just rest on your laurels now. There's some small manufacturer in Idyllshire searching for a miner to help with their work, and I think you'd be perfect. The goal is specific enough that I imagine they'll be wanting you to procure some fairly rare minerals. Honestly, if you don't take the job, I don't know if you have anyone else up to the task. Speak to Lynette if you're interested. Heading to Idyllshire, are we? Excellent. I took the liberty of preparing your guild papers in advance. The client for this job is a Lalafell by the name of Nonovato. Hand him these documents and he will see to it that you're well briefed on the task at hand. Best of luck to you. And he is over there. With a goblin mask. Nonovato, yes, that is me. Is there something I can help you with? I'm here from the Miners Guild. Oh, you're the one they sent from the Miners Guild, are you? My apologies, I wasn't expecting you so soon. Right, yes, the job. Let me show you to the manufacturer. Chief Stickqix is no doubt camping at the bit to explain everything to you. Champing at the bit? Where is it? You probably, yeah, in there. Would I be correct in assuming you are the miner the guild has sent? Splendid. Splendid. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I run this humble manufactory, leading my workers as we push the very boundaries of technology to their utmost limits. Would it be terribly rude if I inquired as to why you look quite so shocked? I would imagine that this is our miner friend's first time meeting a goblin quite as eloquent as you, sir. Sharp as ever, my dear Nonovato. This line of work frequently requires me to interact with other races, such as yourself, and I frankly found Gobby speak a ghastly hindrance to business. This spurs me on to work tirelessly to master the common tongue. After all, when you have chosen to devote your life to pushing the very boundaries of tech... Wait, I already told you this, haven't I? Simply put, we aim to further technology in Eorzea by harnessing the knowledge and expertise of both man and goblin alike. We requested your help if we find ourselves in need of minerals to aid our work. To be more specific, we're currently in the midst of a certain project. No need to be so indirect, young man. That project you speak of is the Gobroller, a vehicle designed to aid our dream of one day reclaiming the Sharlayan ruins. They may be overrun with beasts for the moment, but that shall not stop us from expanding the borders of our beloved Idyllshire. Terribly sorry to trouble you, old girl, but do you think you are up to gathering the various minerals we require? Terrific. I must admit I had fretted that you might refuse us for the moment there. Now that we know you are willing, I shall have a team introduce themselves to you. Name is Kristen. I've been tasked with making the Grobroler's armor. Looking forward to working with you, Miss Miner. My name is Zanzi. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I've been laboring of late to create the machine's interior. Most excited to see what little delights you bring to our workshop. I go by Fogweeder, and together with Grimstead have been working to design the armor that will adorn our dear gob roller. I have to say, for a miner, you look like you can hold your own fairly well. Something tells me we will get along just fine. Gobby's name is Stickqix. And Stickqix is sweat working to make gob roller insides. Uplander hand landing is appreciated muchly. I do believe that is everyone. No Novato will answer any questions you may have pertaining our work schedule. As the chief says, I'm the one in charge of managing this project. One of the perks of being his #1 apprentice. At any rate, I feel this is a conversation best continued outside. Christram said it best when he described the manufacturer as being hotter than Ifrit's bottom. So many voices. Much nicer out here, don't you think? Well, that's about everything I had planned for today. I do hope you enjoyed meeting everyone. Work will start properly next time you are able to visit. In the meantime, I'll be keeping busy organizing a list of which minerals we require most urgently. Make sure to keep your pickaxe nice and sharp. Serenia, truly your timing is impeccable. I finished writing up the list of minerals not a few moments ago. I would love to hand it over to you, but Chief Stickqix said he was keen to see that you were properly briefed first. Please follow me to the Bangpots. You have my thanks for coming. Regrettably, it's not the best of times. Pray wait for a moment. Or maybe you, as an outsider, would be best suited to solve this conundrum. I know this is not quite what we requested your services for, but would you mind granting us your succor, old girl? Originally, I had planned to ask what you mine minerals required for the construction of a gob roller's armor. However, work has come to a screeching halt thanks to Christram and Fogweeder deciding that their time would be better served arguing. But something tells me that you might just be the one to make them see eye to eye once more. I would be eternally grateful if you could speak with them and unearth the cause of this fissure. I'm ever in your debt, noble miner. The rest I leave up to you. You have my full confidence. Serenia. What is it? You've heard that Fogweeder and I have been on the best of terms lately? Well, I suppose that's one way of putting it. We'll be using the gob roller in the Dravani hinterlands, an area rife with all kinds of wild beasts. And what do wild beasts do? They attack, ferociously. Ask anyone in Idyllshire and they tell you the machine needs heavy armor capable of withstanding physical attacks. Anyone except Fogweeder anyway. She's gotten into her head for some bloody reason that claws and fangs don't warrant fortified defenses. Absolutely no clue how the chief expects me to work with someone who... Never mind the forest. We can't even see the trees surrounding it by monsters in the hinterlands. If you hear about a certain quarrel, then you may as well just leave now. I would not expect a miner to understand the complexities of armor design. Hey, I am an armorer as well, yeah? That being said, it's hardly a complicated matter. My point is simple. We need to equip the gob roller with ample protection against magic. That loggerhead simply needs to acquiesce and we can resume our work once more. As I'm sure you have noted during your adventures, these lands have a fair share of fantastic beasts that wield deadly magic. This is precisely why I am of a mind that we need to ensure our machine is protected against such threats. How can you think otherwise? But I forget myself. His lack of sense infuriates me so. In summary, I have no intention whatsoever of changing to suit Christram's ridiculous ideas. So that is the cause of the commotion? You have my thanks, Serenia. However, I must say I'm truly perplexed by all of this. Neither one of this is entirely wrong after all. No, Novato, dear boy, a gill for your thought. My thoughts? Well, as you say, they're both quite good ideas if only there was some way we could have our cake and eat it. Cake? You have strayed awfully far from the subject, but I'm inclined to believe there's a way we can combine these two approaches. That is the founding principle behind our work, after all, making the impossible possible. Serenia, would it trouble you to mine some beggar's mithril for me? 3 chunks or so should be enough. As for what we actually need it for, well, let's save that surprise for your triumphant return. According to Sharlayan records, beggar's mithril ore can be found in the fringes of Giabania. Best of luck. Giabania. Here, beggar's mithril ore. Okay. We're being lucky. Very lucky. Okay, back to Dravania. To Idyllshire. Was your trip a success? It was. Here you have 3. You could have 4. You really outdid yourself on this one, old girl. The quality is absolutely top-notch. Novato, fetch Crisprim and Fogreader for me. Chief, would you mind explaining just why Fogreader's here as well? I figured you were well aware of the bad blood between us. Shh, never mind your silly squabbles. Take a look at this. What am I looking at? Exactly? 'Tis an alloy I created using the beggar's mithril ore that I had Serenia mine for us. It is no fluffy for having exceedingly low ethereal conductivity. You mean to say we are going to use my idea? Fantastic! Chief, how could you? You may as well tie the gobballer up in a neat little bow and gift it to the beast at this rate. Now, let's not jump to any rash conclusions here. You two, imagine this. We make sheet metal using this ingot, proceeding to wrap it in the regular sheet metal we use for vehicle armor. That's all very well and good as an idea, but in practice that's going to weigh the vehicle down to no end. I would not be so sure. If you combine your skills, there is no reason that the impossible need remain so. Stacking the two types of metal to create a new kind of armor, one which fulfills all our needs, is something I imagine you two are quite capable of doing. Would you not agree, Serenia? Me? Sure. I can tell you now you're going to need to do more than just jam 2 bits of metal together. Creating armor that is resistant to all kinds of attacks while being of a manageable weight and size, well, it is much easier said than done. We could try welding the 2 types of sheet metal together, although we'd still need to figure out a way to reducing the thickness of the armor to a single sheet. Doesn't look like we have much time to fighting with this on our plate, eh, Fogreader? I could not have put it better myself. If we both have the energy to bicker, then we certainly have the energy to develop a new way of creating armor. It does not give a chief cause to regret his words, Crisprim. I forgot, Chief, it worked. You're brilliant. Shh, I could not have done it without the help of our darling miner friend. Once more, I'm indebted to you, old girl. You have my thanks as well. Pray join me outside so we may review today's developments and discuss your future schedule. You did amazing work today, Serenia. Allow me to thank you once more. However, I also feel rather obligated to apologize for asking so much of you. I don't imagine you expected to have to mediate between our workers when you accepted this job. I'd love to say this was the first time such a quarrel has erupted between us two. But that's neither here nor there. Enjoy some well-earned rest and seek me out once more when you feel ready for your next job. Unearth 3. Can we accept it by now? Serenia, the time has come for your next mining job, is what I would be saying to you right now if we lived in a perfect world. Yet another fight has broken out in the manufactory. Hurry, we wasted enough time already. What's now going on? Ah, adventure. I was just recalling a time when my work used to be so enjoyable, absent of any petty squabbles. Alas, that was long ago. My workers are at it once again. This time it's Sanse and Stickqix who are quarreling over the Gob Roller's controls. Oh, my brain case X, so... My apologies, I have a nasty habit of slipping back into Gobby speak when vexed. I'm ashamed to ask this of you once more, but could you talk to the two of them? You did great work before, and I cannot think of any other way to solve this. You want to know why I'm fighting with Stickqix? Oh, it would be my pleasure to tell you. She wants to design the controls to be hero-friendly. Can you believe that? Any imbecile knows that goblins are best suited to operate such machinery, and the Gob Roller will be no exception. What sense does it make to design the controls for races that are hardly going to use the thing? No work will be done until she acknowledges the error of her race, although I wonder if someone that deluded is capable of such a thing. Stickqix want to design whirlycocks insides for uplanders, but Sanse says no. Sanse has much knowledge of whirlycocks. Why won't he make Gob Roller inside that suits uplanders? Stickqix can't sweat work with these addle-brained ideas. Sanse needs to think like Gobby. No, that can't have been easy. On the bright side, now we know the issue. All we need to do is fix it. Would you be able to bring me 5 chunks of feather iron ore, old girl? Splendid. My friend, a merchant of sorts, is more knowledgeable of this particular mineral than I. Seek him out at the hard places and he shall tell you where to find what we need. You are the uplander that gave Gobby ore more precious than Idyllshire? Gobby good Gobby friend indeed. Are you well? Ah, you mean sir, the other Gobby, the other goblin we gave the adamantine ore in the Heavensward questline. Searching for feather iron ore. Gobby is always willing to aid Stickqix's busy deals. Uplander is good Gobby friend, so no Idyllshire is needed. You will find what you seek in the Far East. Head for the Ruby Sea. And here along the, well, walls of Hell's Lit it is. with that little excursion into health split, I'm now level 70, not that it helps much. So, Stickqix. Was my merchant friend able to point you in the right direction? Yeah, he has to. Here you have 5 feather iron ore. High quality. Perfect. The quality is even better than the last batch you delivered. Nonovato, fetch Sensei in stack blocks for me. Stack blocks ear catches that Stickqix wants to trade tongue slaps with Gobby. But why is Sensei here? Shh. Take a look at this before you get too riled up. By the 12, I've never seen a mineral quite like this in my life. Shh. Stack blocks does not see this in Eorzea. Where did Uplander find it? We had our miner friend travel all the way to the far east to retrieve this for us. Once smelted, it can be used to create a metal as light as a feather, well, almost. Use this to create the vehicle's controls, and I'm certain the decrease in weight will enable you to design something very special indeed. Chief, I've not the foggiest idea what you say. Look, both of your attitudes are perfectly logical, but this is Idyllshire, a place where goblins and men live in harmony. Are you telling me that our work should not reflect that? Why not make 2 sets of interchangeable pedals for the gob whirler? One would be of suitable size for goblins, Lalafels and other small races. The other would account for the realm's larger rate. I'm positive that if the 2 of you work together, we have the potential to create controls convenient for all races. I would not have bothered to request our miner friend's help otherwise. Chief, quick sticks is best, Gobby. 2 brain cases are better than 1. It's hard to admit, I was indeed in the wrong. Come on, Stackblocks, let us start a mechanical revolution. I just see when Sensei is an aura. You see the horns under the goblin helmet. Goblin mask. Yet again you saved the day, my friend. My thanks, Serenia. Excellent work as always. Let's head outside to discuss your next job. Yes, I'd like to believe this actually will be your next job. Stickqix, what was that supposed to mean? Mayhap I ought to consult with Slowfix about this. I just feel that something needs to be done to improve our working conditions. We can't very well expect to finish this project in a timely manner if we're bickering every step of the way. It will also not do to rely on your help forever. I have the utmost confidence in the ability of every single one of my workers. I just wish I could stop worrying about their personalities. If only there was some way we could all work in harmony. Sorry, old girl. This is nothing for you to concern yourself with. Go and speak with Nonovato. We've been waiting more than long enough. Allow me to thank you once again for all your hard work. I'd love to say this will be the last time we require problem-solving talents, but recent events make me somewhat doubtful. I wish I could have helped myself, but someone in my position really needs to remain neutral during times like these. I wouldn't imagine we'll be requiring your services, mining or otherwise, in the immediate future, so do take the chance to rest. Okay, next one. Where money takes you. I'm late. Oh, hello, Serenia. Sorry you caught me at a bit of a bad time. Are you familiar with Verena? Well, I'm not sure how it happened, but I forgot to pay her for a job. I've been so busy of late, it completely slipped my mind. Mercifully, she's not demanding any extra coin for every delay. Instead, she has requested help with a job of her own. In fact, if I don't cooperate, she says she won't give me the goods I had her procure for me in the first place. What's more, she wants you of all people to carry out this task. I haven't a clue who, but someone told her what a skilled miner had been seen frequenting Stickqix Bangpots of late. I hate to press this upon you, but please, I beg of you, help Verena in my stead. Oh god. Helping Verena is never fun. Well, never did I expect that a miner wandering around the Bangpots would turn out to be the one and only Serenia Shadowstar. Do you just like the feel of a pickups in your hand, or are you truly that desperate for coin? None of my business, I suppose. Anyway, as Nonovato may have told you, you're to bring me some serpentine. And you can go ahead and tell him that I expect this to be the last time he gives me any trouble. Oh, and I suppose I ought to tell you that you won't find it anywhere safe in Idyllshire, in the Far East. Precisely why it fetches such a pretty price here in Eorzea. Bring me 8 of them and you can tell Nonovato that we're square. Serpentine, okay. In Idyllshire. Got all 8. That went quicker than I feared. I expect 8 chunks. Here you go, Verena. Ah, God bless. Well, you've held up your end of the bargain. Here's what Nonovato was after. Thanks for that. A good bit of business. Still a bit puzzled as to what's going on at Stickqix Bangpots' mind. I've worked with them for some time now and never had any trouble getting compensated for my services before. Now that I think on it, I haven't seen much of Stickqix lately. He tends to stop by every now and then to check the quality of orders and the like, but I can't remember for the life of me the last time he came here. Ah, Serenia. Please, put me out of my misery. How did it go? Oh, thank heavens. With this, we can continue our work on the Gobbler. Well, I suppose since there's no other pressing issue at this point of time. No, I cannot in good conscience lie to someone who has helped me so much. Allow me to apologize to you, Serenia. It is high time I apprised you of the current state of our work. For a while now, the project has been at a standstill, and before you jump to any conclusions, this has nothing to do with quarrels breaking out between our workers. No, it is much more serious. Chief Stickqix is missing. I've tried and tried to ascertain his whereabouts, but no one has been able to help. I don't suppose you have heard anything? He said something about visiting Slowfix. Went to Slowfix for advice, you say? What on earth could he... Ah, but of course, he must have sought him out to discuss all the recent bickerings between the manufacturing workers. It really matters not why he went to speak with him. What's important is finding out if Stickqix knows just where the chief is. As we have no other clue at this moment, I suggest we seek out Stickqix post haste. Come along. Ah, Mr. Stickqix, I was wondering if you might have the time to answer a few questions of mine. Shh. Stickqix has no need to trade young fluffs to guess what noise Uplander wants. Uplander would have Stickqix explain where Stickqix went, yes? You know the chief's whereabouts? Stickqix has lots of knowings, but not those ones. Stickqix had the chivalry shakes as his workers trade fists instead of tongue flaps. Stickqix used to be one of the Illuminati, but as they became crazier and crazier, he chose to run away from the bad goblin. Coming to Idyllshire, home to both goblins and uplanders, Stickqix was sure he had made the right decision. Now Stickqix told Stickqix that this was his dream. Stickqix made Bangpots so uplanders and goblins can sweat work together for a bright future. Stickqix would have workers keep this in their brain keys. I shall talk to everyone about this. You have my word. I would greatly appreciate your presence when I do, Serenia. Pray, come with me to a manufactory once more. You have no idea how reassuring your presence is, Serenia. Wait a moment while I gather the others. Why does no one want to summon stack blocks? I've asked you all to lend me your ears as I wish to share what we have found out about our chief's disappearance. In short, you're saying that the chief's desertion is down to us? It is the end of the world as we know it. And yet I cannot criticize the chief's actions. We have tested his patience time and again. It's hard to argue, but our big king has destroyed the very dream we came together to make a reality. We are nothing without the chief's guiding hand. Are you of the same mind, Serenia? Gobbola can be finished without the chief. Quite right. However, we first need to change our approach. Only then can we continue the project that Stickqix has started. Shh, Nonovato's words excite stack blocks. The time has come to finish the Gobbola. Nonovato, the fire in your heart is infectious. But tell me, what do you mean when you say we must change? We need to focus on working together as a team, not a collection of individuals. I myself know just how easy it is to get caught up in matters that only concern oneself. For the duration of this project, I have consistently relied on Serenia's help and done nothing of note, but that ends today. As of this moment, we are a team in the truest sense of the word. This, I'm convinced, is the key to finishing the Gobbola as well as continuing our work long into the future. The chief would no doubt say the exact same way here today. Stackblocks back things to Stickqix saying the same thing. The impossible is possible if we help each other. Yes, quite an idea. My eyes were once clouded, but now they are perfectly clear. It'll go some way towards making up for us disappointing the chief too. That it is. At last, the revolution I have been waiting for. We know what we must do. Now, let us finish what we started for the chief. Serenia, if you have a time, let us speak outside.
Thank you for everything. The chief may still be missing, but my faith in our workers has never been stronger. There's one last job I would have you do when you feel ready. That should provide us with everything we need to finally finish the project. Okay, and the last one? Serenia, a delight to see you as always. Please, follow me to the Bangpots. Allow me to begin by explaining how things currently stand. As you are doubtless aware, the God Brawler is close to completion thanks to our much changed approach to the project. In fact, we have recently been able to run the vehicle through some basic tests. However, said tests did not provide the result we had hoped for. The Cerulean engine's power output was somewhat lower than expected and, well, quite shamefully, the God Brawler was unable to clear the debris we prepared for testing purposes. We did all we could to fix this, even boosting the engine's power output, but alas, the pistons were unable to cope with the extra strain. In light of this, we have decided to create new pistons using a different, sturdier material. I imagine you have already guessed as much, but it is this material which we need you to procure for us. Pumelite, a metal known for its high level of durability, heat capacity and thermal conductivity. The only issue is that I have no idea where it can be found. What's more, it seems this mineral is rather difficult to get one's hand on. Perhaps you could try asking your friends at the Miners Guild. They may have an idea as to where it can be mined. I would be grateful if you were able to bring back 5 chunks. Oh, Miners Guild. Been a while since we've been there. Okay. You're searching for what? Can't say I've ever expected to hear you of all people bring that mineral up. You'll find what you need in the peaks of Giabania, where it was traded fairly often back in the day. However, that all changed over the past century. First, it became increasingly scarce thanks to the Autumn War between Alamigo and Gridania. Then, once the Gallian Empire took Alamigo for their own, trade of the minerals ceased completely. But I imagine the Miners Guild's very own Serenia Shadowstar would be more than up to the task of locating a deposit of pumelite. Best of luck to you, friend.
Okay, where is the mining node? It is a hidden node, a bit southeast of the village of Alagana, and it appears between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning or the evening, either way. So let's get mining. Nice to see you return, Serenia. Did you manage to find the pumelite? Here you go. Precisely what I needed. I know I say this every time, but I'm well and truly in your debt, dear friend. I just set about making an ingot out of this at once. Finished at last. I couldn't have hoped for higher quality even in my wildest dreams. This will more than suffice for the pistons we require. Where are the rocks? I just finished smelting them to create a rather lovely ingot, but just don't take my word for it. Have a look for yourself. Level 12, this is incredible. To think it was still possible to obtain pumelite. Exquisite work, Serenia. Listen, everyone. We must not let the fruits of Serenia's labor go to waste.
we will create pistons capable of supporting our beloved gob roller. Do you hear me? I think everyone with a mom heard that. Within a mom heard that. But I would be lying if I said it had not gotten me nice and fired up. It is time we got to work. It shouldn't take us long to get the new parts made and inserted into the vehicle. The plan is to test the gob roller on its new pistons by the answering quarter. I do hope to see you there, Svenja. You have contributed so much to the project after all. Here, okay. Good to see you, Svenja. Everything is in place. All that's left is to put the gob roller on its pistons to their paces. We're just waiting for stack blocks to get the engine going, and then we can start the test. Commence Rollycock test. Final Fantasy Free Boss Musik. What's up? Good day, everyone. What is all the fuss about? Chief, where the 7 years have you been? You've been gone so long we already finished work on the gob roller. I see. Well, that is nice to hear. I wonder if this is how a mother chocobo feels when her chicks leave the nest. Chief, do not misunderstand us. We are delighted to have you back, but did you not think to even leave a letter before vanishing? Quite right. I was terrified you had gone to that place where all the good gobbies go. What are you talking about? I had simply gone to ask an old friend for some advice. I got caught up with some other business and told them to let you know I would be delayed in my return. Clearly they slipped their mind. Honestly, that blasted Blayflox is horrendously forgetful sometimes. Well, hearing that certainly makes me feel a little better. I was of a mind that you had abandoned the team for all our constant bickering. It certainly gave every one of us cause for self-reflection while you were away. I wouldn't want to suggest that your absence helped us, but our revised approach to the project enables us to boost the Ceruleum engine's power output. All the credit should really go to for Guida. It was her redesigning of a gob roller's innards that got us this far. That's absolute nonsense as you know it. Your advice on how we should fuel the vehicle was priceless. Seems to me you're conveniently forgetting all the work that I and a certain goblin girl put into the gob roller's exhaust system. I would also draw your attention to my redesign of a gob roller, which fully incorporated all your improvements, not to mention Svenja's invaluable help in procuring all those materials. Do you know what I saw when I first set foot in Idyllshire? Man and goblins working in harmony, a vision that gave me a dream for the future. You all have turned that dream into a beautiful reality, and for that, we have my sincerest thanks. Oh, shucks. So, we just invented a bulldozer. Serenia, no doubt you've already have been thanked enough for a lifetime, but allow me to express the sentiment once more. As young Nonovato stated, your help was instrumental to our success. You may not be aware of this, but I used to be one of the Illuminati. We heard of that, yes? They tasked me developing a vehicle that would allow them to safely conduct pilgrimages across the land. However, things turned sour when that dastardly Quick Thing stole my plans and twisted them into something different. Something evil. The resulting monstrosity was the God Machine, a savage weapon. My frustration and sadness, coupled with the disdain I had long harbored for the Grand Master, pushed me to finally leave those mad goblins behind. I imagine you are more or less aware of the major events that followed. At any rate, your work for us is done. I do hope to see you again in Idyllshire one day, old girl. I'm going to keep saying this until you're positively sick of it, but thank you again for all you've done. Now that the Godbrawler prototype is in working order, we shall continue our tests, eventually moving on to developing improved versions in the future. And someday, our work will give birth to an utopian Idyllshire, one where any disharmony between goblin and man is but a distant memory of the past. Oh, and before I forget again, I will arrange for your payment to be sent to the Miners Guild. Please give Alberta my regards when you next see her. Welcome back, Serenia. Nonovato had some very complimentary things to say about your work. Seems you've done the guild's reputation quite a service. Something tells me you'll find a payment they sent to your liking as well. I know I don't usually ask about much outside of work, but would you mind telling me what kind of place Idyllshire is? It's been playing on my mind ever since the job came in. It's a town that's going to grow in importance as time goes on. Well, perhaps it wouldn't hurt to do a bit more business with Idyllshire in the future. Maybe I could even look into creating a branch of a guild there. No need to rush into anything regardless. I give myself time for a good think. But I digress. Good work as always, Serenia. You can be sure I'll be in touch again whenever the guild gets a job worthy of your skills. Enhanced GP regeneration. Da, 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 da. And the next quest. I've reached out to House for Tom's an acquaintance or two in Idyllshire to see if they'd be interested in working with us. I imagine it'll be a while yet before anything is officially agreed, but they seem keen. If things go well, it'll be easier than ever for us to mine in areas like Ravani and Corvus. White Golly seems especially excited by the project, because none of this would even be possible without your help. Okay, but that is the minor quest for... yeah, next time we do something else, I guess? And until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost. Okay, something I've just forgot to mention, or missed it just back when I recorded this. Now that we've done the quest, the Godbrawler stands here just beyond the edge of a map. And there is the people of Bangpots working on it. We of course can't talk with them except with Nonovato. He is still standing here in front of us. But I think that's neat. Okay, this time really, this is the end.